The Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast, sponsored by the Lockdown Defense Sports Network, is our weekly show dedicated to elite advice in standard leagues, PPR, and dynasty leagues. We are not guaranteeing you will win anything by our advice, but if you do, we want our cut. Enjoy the show. Are you tired of losing at fantasy football? Well, have a seat. You come to the right place. You're now tuned into the show where champions are made, where speed meets strategy, elite advice, rapid fire analysis, and winning lineups are provided. It all happens faster than Tyreek Hill's 40 time. So strap in. Let's dominate your draft, crush your matchups, and take a ride all the way to that fantasy goal right here on the Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast. Let's go. To all my heavy hitters and lockdown defenders, welcome to the Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast. Live and direct. I'm your host, Coach Defense, alongside the real AG, Alex Givens. I hadn't said this in a while, but I got to say it again. They call him the real AG because his picks are all good. Good brother, how you feeling out there? What's going on?
Sir.
What's happening?
Oh, doing good, Coach. Another week in the books. Wasn't the best week, too, for your boy across the board.
Yeah.
Our own league included. I know we'll get into that, but
Right.
yeah, we're on the week.
Right. We're on to week 3. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Things are bubbling to the surface. I think you can say it. We're starting slow, but we see potential. Like, you know, it's one of those things where you might have lost, but you see potential in your team and you think you're going to be good going forward, right? Your picks are starting to pan out. It's just starting to really get their juice, really get their gel going, and things will be all right going forward, man. I think we're in a good spot. I think there's no room to panic, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show in regards to panicking or not on certain players, but you know, some players aren't living up to their full potential right now. We even got injuries galore. So we'll get into all that. We'll divulge all of that. We'll get you right and either keep you winning in the week 3 or get you back on that winning track for week 3. And so we can get things rolling going forward, because now it's time to start to hit our stride and start to get moving if we want to be in a good position for the playoffs, right? So we're going to talk about everything from, you know, perfect best performances, worst performances, you know, injuries, you know, perfect lineups, you know, strength of schedule. We're going to talk about everything regarding the best matchups of the weeks. We're going to get into it all today in Lightning Fast time. So let's get into it, man. As you may or may not know, if you've been watching the show, paying attention to the network, we run our own fantasy leagues. We have a dynasty league we run, and we also run a regular PPR fantasy league. So as we like to do ceremoniously through each show and beginning of the show, we like to get into our fantasy football weekly. So, you know, we talk about exactly who's been doing pretty good, who's been struggling, you know, give a good overview in regards to what is going on in each league, right? So starting off with the actual fantasy league, the regular fantasy league, the scores are listed here. So we got some interesting matchups. As you can see, we went at it this week. You know, and
wasn't the best one for the squad, but hey.
Right, yeah, and in grandiose fashion. So me and AG went at it. I won 121 to 94. Excuse me. I was, you know,
come on now. Don't be that dirty. It's still second slowest points of the week there, but hey,
right. So yeah, so we got that. Young RG rolled around high at 2-0, 121 to 109. He beat Josh. Coach D Bev took a bad L to 5, 107 to 102. Kurt, ironically enough, got himself a victory as well, 118 to 85 against Keys. Cool Cav is looking rough for Cool Cav, man. It's not the greatest at the moment, but he's you know, he lost to DZ for defending champ. He's 2-0, 117 to 101.
Let him get away with this.
Yeah, I know, man. We got to do something about this. I know, we got to do something about it. All right, Cody got off the schneid and got a victory. Coach Mike Dubs 0-2, ironically, then 113 to 100 in that matchup. So yeah, so we got two undefeated teams, 3 undefeated teams. It's like, yeah, everybody's still kind of behind
I will note, though, I believe this time last year, Robert's squad was in a similar spot and just totally went off the rails. So
true. So we'll see. Mojo going, yes. See, keep the mojo going. Absolutely. That's funny.
The
That is funny, but
Allfather.
true.
I love that he hasn't changed his name or the picture since.
Well, ironically enough, I think he was something else last year. I don't think he was Allfather last year. He was something else. I think it was something to
It
do with
was
last.
something similar.
Yeah, it
I
was.
thought his name was like Alt is Crosby's father or something ridiculous. Like
It was
not
that.
even funny. Just
Right.
a direct jab.
It really is. Yep. Something Chargers related for sure. Definitely
Yeah,
that.
you know, yeah.
Definitely that. So yeah, we got that rolling. So that was the week matchups for the fantasy league. So here's the matchups or the matchups
Redacted.
in the dynasty league. We had to redact some names because they were just really not suitable for YouTube. But yeah, I lost again. I thought I was going to pull a comeback with 3 players going Monday night, but I fell 10 points short. So that's rich. So that was 144 to 134. Panda went against B Shank and he won 170. I think he scored the most points this week, 170 to 115.
Damn.
Yeah,
he did have neighbors who
he did. He's a Giants fan, ironically too. So
yeah.
that's fitting.
Yeah.
That's fitting. And we got Nightmare with 151 and 134 against you. Yeah, you're right. This has been a rough go for you this week.
JJ, man. JJ just didn't
show
double
up.
win. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, the Gold Farmer again.
Hey, 166.
Yeah, the 124. Yeah. It was some blowouts this week. Definitely some blowouts. 140. Spice won 140 to 84 against Jay Horney. And my guy S. Boyles 159 to 151 against Shanks. So yeah, our Riley Shanks is sick. I think we got 2 Shanks in the
bros. Yeah.
Riley and B and Riley. So yeah. So that was your recast for the score. So moving ahead to week 3 matchups, who's going to fight for a victory this week. So the standings are listed for the fantasy league here. Like I said, Robert and DZ are 2-0, and so is 5, ironically. And then Cool Cat 1-1, me 1-1, you 1-1, Cody 1-1, Kurt and Keith 1-1, and
The
Josh,
rest.
the rest are 0-2. Right? Josh, Mike Dub, and D Bev are all 0-2. Yeah,
Dub, man.
Yeah. So you're going against Robert this week. So can you break the trend? Yeah, I
gotta have a big week for my running backs, you know, and it's asking a lot right now. So
I know.
Come on, manifest.
Yes. Right, manifest the work. Yes, indeed. All right, so we got Keith against 5. We got D Bev against Kurt. We got DZ against Mike Dub, and we got Cody against Cool Cav. So it should be a good one. And the matchups and the standings for the Redacted League, the Dynasty League. S Boys are 2-0, Spice is 2-0. Everybody else is 1-1 except for me and Drew Dudley, ironically enough. So Nightmare 1-1, you 1-1, B Shanks.
You start selling, dude. You gonna start the March for Arch?
Who, me? No. I wouldn't even the way Arch is playing right now, I wouldn't draft this ass either.
I guess that's fair. Yeah. It doesn't have the same weight it did before the season started.
No, it does not. Not at all. Not at all. So yeah, so interesting matchups. I'm going against Riley Shanks this week. Panda and Nightmare, you going against B Shanks, Drew Dudley going against Jay Horn, Go Farmer against Spice, and S Rich against S Boyle. So should be a good one. Hopefully I can get off the schneid and be 1-2 and start to trend back up. But yeah, the one thing about this league was drafted very early in the season, and I made some different moves that we drafted later. But as Dynasty League, it's not about the beginning, it's about the progression of everything. So we'll see.
Building a dynasty.
Yeah, exactly. Got to build a dynasty.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's for sure. Couldn't said it better. So yeah. Well, those are the standings for the week. So we'll keep our updates going throughout the shows, throughout the weekly shows, and let you know how the leagues are doing, how the leagues progressing. So hopefully some early indicators of people doing well, and some people got to get it right. So hopefully they listen to the podcast to get their roster together and they get some points for week 3. All right, so let's roll into the best performers of the week. So we've had some interesting developments in that category, I guess you can say, in regards to who was performing well. There's very some unheralded names here for sure.
I'll say,
some unheralded names for sure. But yeah. So in regards to the best performance, for this week, I think Jared Goff is the most surprising name. Him and Russell Wilson. being at the tops of this. After they played week 1, it looked terrible. They bounced back in a big major way to be at the top spots of the quarterbacks for 1 and 2, 34 and 31 respectively. Lamar Jackson doing Lamar Jackson things, 26 points, place 3. Drake May 26.3, and he plays 4th. And actually, Tim and Lamar Jackson tied at 3rd, so that's how they broke that down. And then Dak Prescott in this shootout with him and Russell Wilson, he ended up with 23 points. So that was interesting. A lot of that, 2 of the 5 came out of one game, which is crazy.
Right.
It was crazy. So yeah, running backs, Jonathan Taylor looking like his old self. 28.5 in that game against the Broncos of all people. And who thought the Broncos gave up that many yards to Jonathan Taylor? Wouldn't have seen that coming.
Dude.
Yeah, so that's interesting. James Cook went off. They ran heavy in week 2 for the Buffalo Bills. He got 26 points. Devon Achane spotted in Miami, got 22 points for his week 2 performance. Javonte Williams doing Javonte Williams things in Dallas. 2 weeks in a row, he scored big points. 22 points for him. And Christian McCaffrey, who is the main and only weapon in San Fran right now.
The weapon.
The weapon. Right. 19-7 for him. So yeah, there's interesting names here. I guess I would argue that I don't think that nobody outside Lamar Jackson on this list was drafted high. Maybe Jonathan Taylor, maybe C-Mac. But yeah, these guys are mid-round guys. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
And, I would add just a quick shout out, and I'll explain why. But Ramondre Stevenson too. I mean, he had 18.7 points, and I'm only shouting that out to give him praise in the hopes that he does not do the same thing this week, and then it's the Travion show.
Yes. We're going to discuss that.
Good job, Ramondre.
Right.
Really good. Pick him up now.
Don't ever effing do it again.
Yeah. Nice catch, Hayes.
Don't ever effing do it again.
Oh, man.
Yes, indeed. But tell me about his wide receivers and tight ends.
Yeah, we had definitely a lot more popping off in the wide receiver tight end realm compared to week 1. I know it was kind of depressing reading some of the scores from week 1.
I know.
And we had some big names, I think, return to form a little bit. First and foremost, we had Amon-Ra St. Brown, 34.7.
Mm-hmm.
Just back to vintage St. Brown.
Yes,
in a Ben Johnson-less Detroit offense, looked just fine. Malik Neighbors, 33.2. Jamar Chase, 29.5 after having 4 points in week 1, so that's good. But then there's a double whammy that I know we'll get into later with that. And then Rome Odunze, with the 28.3, just balling out. I played him in a flex in a few leagues. It felt nice. I had a good feeling about Rome going into this year.
I did too. I had him in flex in one of my leagues. So yeah, he definitely cashed in. The one league I did win this week, Rome played well for me.
Yeah,
yes.
Big Rome. But then ironically, 2 Giants on the list here with Wan'Dale Robinson getting 24.2. So, it was a high-scoring game, and they're undoubtedly going to be behind in a lot of their games. So you can imagine they're going to be throwing the ball quite a bit. So,
a lot. Yes.
Yeah. And then switching to tight ends, my perfect tight end for week 2. Doing me right, man. On Thursday night, Tucker Kraft, 21.4. Like I said,
he's
quietly, maybe not quietly as much anymore, but he's emerging as the number 1 pass option for Green Bay and Love. So
don't worry, I drafted him in one league. I think it was I think it was a Lightning League. Yeah, the way
feeling good. Yeah, I got him in a few, man. Feeling good about old Kraft. And then Zach Ertz with 15.4. Yeah, that Thursday night game. Produced the tight end gold for week 2, and then Juwan Johnson doubling down from his 11 target week 1, with 13.4. Jake Ferguson with 12.3, and Trey McBride at least living up to some of the early round draft pick hype with 10.8.
There you go. Good stuff. Yeah, that Zach Ertz move was probably the only shining point or moment in that Commanders game, because boy, they had a rough go against the Packers. They really did.
Yeah, the Packers just look good, man.
All the way around. I know it's way too early to predict it, but they definitely have the market ability to go far. Let's just say it that way. It definitely has,
and it's just they look good with just a bunch of just B-rated, B-tier receivers.
Yeah, just a bunch of young guys. They're all young. I mean, they're literally like the youngest team in the league, I think. Yeah. They draft well, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
They draft well. Yeah, that's what you got to have, especially in that market, because nobody's itching to go to Green Bay to play football. Let's be real about it. Yeah, especially the winter.
Unless you grew up in Wisconsin. That's about it.
That's about it. As you played in the Big Ten, and when you went to Wisconsin, it's a college. You probably don't want to play in Green Bay. Yeah. Even then, they probably want to leave. So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But yes, indeed. So moving over to the defenses and kickers for the week. Atlanta coming through tough and putting the belt to ass on Minnesota in their game. 21 points. Yeah. 21 points. JJ, to your point, looked like complete caca and trash.
Just ass.
Yeah. So he definitely contributed a lot to that 21-point outing for the Atlanta Falcons and their top fantasy win this week. So if you had Atlanta Falcons defense, you're sitting pretty. Ravens came through with 15. That's a staunch difference from last week. I think they were on the naughty list last week. They gave them all them points in their game. Seattle 14, doing Seattle things with that secondary and that defense. So yeah, Mike McDonald got everybody playing good ball defensively over there, gave it to Pittsburgh. Arizona, ironically enough, came in with 13 points as well in their game. I was shocked at that. And the Chargers, on Monday night against the Raiders with 13 points as well, tied for fourth in this realm. So yeah, so that was your top 5 defenses. And then your kickers, again, the guys we've been high on this list a lot. Brandon Alray, him and Cam Little, who aka Legatron 2.0, they're kicking big time, and getting points for fantasy purposes. So 22 points for Brandon Aubrey. Parker Romo off the street, kicking 18 points for Atlanta.
Spencer goodbye, Q.
Yeah, he's out of there. That young ho was cool, but he's no longer viable. Sorry.
She old ho Q now.
Oh man, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think he's out of there.
Yeah,
for sure. Spencer Schrader from Indy's kicker, doinked the 60, but hit a 45 off a penalty, so he came through with 18, tied for second. Joey Slye with 17 points. Ironically, with Tennessee's kicking 17 points for them. And then Matt Prater for Buffalo, the reserve kicker, because Tyler Bass is on the IR.
The coach.
14. Yeah. So it's the kicking game is a cruel mistress, man. It's either really good or really bad.
Yeah.
Really good or really bad. So if you had these 5 guys, you did well this week. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right. So as we take, the high wave with the good, you got to deal with the bad as well. So, just some people in the industry, man, that just don't like fantasy football, don't want to play nice with you in regards to who you drafted, right? They just want to make you say,
"You're killing me, Smalls."
So, who's on the naughty list this week and who was the worst performers of the week is we got to discuss. So, if you likely lost this week, this is probably why. So, getting into that list, we got good old Joe Flacco, the ageless wonder, quote unquote. He's on the list at the top of he's the best of the worst at 9.8. Cam Ward with 9.8 as well in that matchup. Your boy JJ McCarthy, 4.8. Michael Penix, although they won the game, he only had 5 points, which is strange. And Geno Smith with 6.2 in his matchup. So yeah, that was definitely a weird dynamic in that space. But that's what you got.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't think I had any of those quarterbacks. I think you had JJ as your super flex. Is that what you had?
Yeah. JJ and Penix in one league. Both as my super flex. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Bro. Hey. What can we do?
You live to fight another day.
Yeah.
You live to fight another day.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. So the running backs, Chase Brown, on the snide. I think this is partially due to the idea that Joe Burrow got hurt. And we'll talk about that in next. But he was only at 7.5, the tops of the worst. Ashton Jeanty, he can't seem to get things going either. His 2 matchups with 5.9. Breece Hall, 4.8 in his matchup, ironically enough, after that week 1 showing. Marion Hampton can't seem to get his footing. I don't know what's going on with the Chargers run game. We'll talk about that as well. But he can't seem to get things going and actually lost me a game because I was literally had 6 points to get between Hawkinson and Marion Hampton, and I lost by 1. That's just tragic.
Fumble.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't even a fumble. No. He only had 20 yards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Never mind. Yeah.
right. So he literally, I literally was down 4, and he only gave me 3.
Yeah.
And Ty Hawks only gave me 2, and I needed 6. So there you go. So I don't know what's going on there, but for me, Mario Hampton's on the bench to further notice. That's just my my take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Derrick Henry, ironically enough, with either Lamar Jackson was throw the ball all over the place, he only had 2.3 after his showing in Week 1 against the Bills. So it's really Jekyll and Hyde right now when it comes to who does well and who doesn't. That's for
kidding,
sure,
man. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, and then yeah, man, with the wide receivers, we had some guys who had a pretty nice Week 1, and then like you said, little Jekyll and Hyde, polar opposite.
Yeah.
Drake London 4.4. Just that Sunday night game was just kind of a bad just a bad game.
It really was all the way around. Only thing that was good about
man.
it was the defense, Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly. Then Keon Coleman going back down to earth after his boom in Week 1 with 4.1. Marvin Harrison Jr. also had a pretty boom in Week 1, and he got 3.7 in Week 2. Jaden Higgins with 3.3, although he did have he caught a bomb. I don't know why they are not using him more.
Yeah.
It's sad there. And then Matthew Golden with 1.5, and he almost caught a bomb.
He almost caught 2.
Yeah. So
yeah,
you at least got some. That's just early season working out the kinks, getting the timing down. But I like that they're taking the shots. And then with the tight ends, Evan Ingram he got banged up in Week 1, was kind of questionable the whole time, and then was kind of tight end 2 for him. He played behind Trotman for a lot of the game, and he got 1.7 to show for it.
Right.
TJ Hawkinson, as Coach prefaced with his own demise, 1.7. Mason Taylor just can't seem to find any way to get involved in that offense up to this point. He got 1 point. Mark Andrews really did me dirty with 0.9. I think he scored 1.9 on the season. I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. Yeah. And then Tyler Conklin with the Chargers, just a fat goose egg.
Donut, big fat donut.
Hopefully you weren't having to play him, but if you did, we're sorry.
We're definitely sorry.
Philly Mike coming in with the spice.
He's
every
good
day. He's creative, though. I'll give him this. It's a new one. It's a new one every day.
And it actually makes sense. It's true.
Yeah, like it's somewhat realistic. Like I would believe it.
Right, but it's just not realistic. But it was realistic, but it's not true. Like
one of these times, it's gonna be true, and he's gonna be breaking it, and it's gonna be that boy that cried wolf, man. We'll be like, nah.
And then we're like, breaking news on Twitter, Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
This just in per Philly Mike.
Right. Per Philly Mike. Hilarious. Indeed. So yeah. So we hope that these guys do better. And I like your take on it, because I actually took a swing in waivers on Matthew Golden, because I think they're going to figure it out. I'm not going to sit here and act like he's going to be persona non grata in Green Bay, because I think they just need to figure it out, because he's definitely a weapon for them. So I'm definitely thinking he'll bounce back. But
they're missing that Christian Watson type player
over the top.
And that's Golden's the only guy that can give them that, and they're taking those shots. So you gotta.
We just need to work out. We just need to love to hit him. That's all. That is it, and that is all. So okay. All right, so that was your naughty list for the week. So hopefully these guys bounce back if you have them, high in your rankings. I think that most of these guys aren't high draft picks, all either outside of maybe Derrick Henry and Mario Hampton, Breece Hall, maybe.
Yeah.
TJ Hawkinson is probably a high tight end. I know for me, I got him in 2 leagues, so he definitely let me down.
Yeah, Drake London.
Yeah, Drake London is the one. Keon Coleman was a sneaky pick, though. I call it as a sleeper. So we'll see how things roll. But yeah, so hopefully these guys will bounce back if they have them. The integral parts of your roster. Let's just say it that way.
Yeah.
All right, so let's moving on, because there's a lot of talk about injuries here. So let's get into it. So let's talk about our segment called I forgot about the defense. I always do that. I just want to move on from this whole,
No, I feel you.
Yeah, just want to move on from the bad, right? But Chicago Bears -4, Cleveland Browns -1, the Jets 0, Broncos 0, and the Colts 1. Excuse me, they had 1 point. For defense and special teams for week 2. Kickers, Chauncey McLaughlin, 2 points. Carl Santos with 3. Blake Groupie with 3. Will Lutz with 4. I actually had Will Lutz in one of my leagues. Ironically, because Tyler Bass hurt. And Ryan Fitzgerald, I keep wanting to say Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzgerald with 4 for Carolina. Oh man. So yeah, those were your naughty defenses and kickers this week. So yeah, so now we can get to injuries.
Yeah.
and in our series we call the replacements, injury updates and roster moves. So all right, so these guys, major, we're going to probably hit the major, I guess you can say names, and then we'll drop in some other ones that kind of hit the waiver wire today. But in regards to who was, majorly injured, of course, Joe Burrow, turf toe out 3 to 4 months, likely not going to see him to December, if at all. So Jake Browning is going to take up the reins, and Alex in our Dynasty League went heavy wager on him to get Jake Browning as a super since subsequently JJ McCarthy's hurt as well now. He's out with a high ankle sprain. So Carson Wentz, is going to take his spot for the next 2 to 4 weeks potentially. We got Jaden Daniels, who they're trending towards a doubtful move with a knee sprain against the Raiders this week. So Marcus Mariota might take his spot. And they ruled him questionable yesterday, but actually probably ruled him out today, I believe, with Justin Fields. He with a concussion, he's still in protocol, so he's not going to play this weekend. So Tyrod Taylor is going to take his spot. So we got 4 backup quarterbacks in week 3. Can you imagine that already?
Yeah.
And now Brock Purdy, who's already been replaced by Mac Jones this previous week, they said there's a chance he can play, but I don't know. I with a turf toe coming back that fast, I'm leaning towards, especially if Mac Jones won the game. Yeah, won the game for you. Why would you rush Brock Purdy back out there? So it could be a situation we got 5 backup quarterbacks this week. In that space, but those are the major quarterback injuries for week 3 going into it. So we're gonna likely not see 4, maybe 5 of these guys in week 3, and those are your backups. So just to jump ahead a little bit for waiver wire perspective, those are the quarterbacks that you might need to grab if you need a backup quarterback in your league. So and any other ones we missed, Alex? I know you did some little recon before the show.
No, yeah, that's it for the QBs, and I mean we already know that 3 of them aren't playing, so it's
4. Well, I think Jaden Daniels not playing either. They haven't ruled him out officially.
Yeah, well, I mean, what did he say? He said today he's not practicing until Friday,
right
at the earliest. That's not a good sign. So,
not at all.
Yeah, I think you play Mariota this early in the season. So
I mean, especially against the Raiders, for sure. Yeah. So I definitely would do that personally. So I would argue that you could see 5 backups this week for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So moving on to the running backs, there's only 3 major ones. So a couple of the questionable ones we might want to touch on. But Austin Eckler tore his Achilles on Thursday night. He's out for the season.
Yeah.
So outside of was it Bill Jakarski Merritt, Chris Rodriguez, and they signed
McNichols.
And McNichols is your replacements there. Aaron Jones now on the IR. Jordan Mason's gonna be the lead dog there, and I think they signed Cam Akers this week as a third back. Yeah, for the third time.
Been a Minnesota Viking like every year for the last 3 seasons.
Right, ever since he left the Rams, I feel like
at some point it's like Cam Akers.
Yeah, come on now. Just don't sell your Airbnb. You'll be back.
Yeah. Don't leave town.
Right. And Joe Mixon, who's been out all season, clearly Dameon Pierce was inactive, so Nick Chubb's stock is rising in that space. But they had the same problem the Chargers have. They can't seem to run the ball well unless they get that one late touchdown they got in the game against Tampa Bay. But yeah, so Joe Mixon, of course, Nick Chubb is the hot ticket item for that backfield because he's the main guy. Because him and the fourth guy, I think Dare Ongolawe, I think his last name is the 2 guys going to be in the Texans backfield. So yeah. So anything trending that we missed on this list from your perspective?
Yeah, there actually are a few other big name running backs that were limited, at least today. Yeah, DeAndre Swift with a quadriceps injury. You had Josh Jacobs was limited with an ankle.
Okay.
Let's see. Tootin limited.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of a shock one for me as well. And Charbonnet did not practice today with the foot injury. So, those in terms of the running backs, those are, Josh Jacobs and DeAndre Swift more than the other 2. You definitely want to keep an eye on, more so Josh Jacobs, but especially me. I think I have him in like 4 leagues. So,
well, there you go. Right. Yeah.
But
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully it's not serious, but yeah, but those guys are on the questionable list, and the other guys are pretty much out. So yeah, those are your running backs that are iffy or not completely going to play at all for week 3. All right. So moving down the line to the wide receivers. Oh, I forgot about Jalen Wright and Bucky Irvin. Bucky Irvin is banged
Yep.
up. But he was a game time decision last week, like he'll be a game time decision this week. And Jalen Wright, they monitoring him through Thursday. He may practice this week, maybe not. But Devon Achane looked pretty good. And the kid, it was the guy Ollie Gordon as a third guy. So yeah, I think looking at Devon Achane and Ollie Gordon to be lead guys if Jalen Wright does practice this week or not. And like I said, Bucky Irvin.
Yeah, and Bucky Irvin did practice today, so
okay, good.
No designation on him.
At it. Okay. Because yeah, Rachaad White got a few carries towards the end of the game on Monday night. So I think they're kind of being cautious with him. So yeah, we'll see how Bucky Irvin looks like on Thursday and Friday. So keep an eye on that for injuries updates in that space. All right. So down to the wide receivers. Whoosh. This is
rough.
Yeah, rough. Yeah, I'm not even sure why the report came out with Deontay Johnson. I don't think he's on the Panthers anymore, but we'll ignore that.
Yeah.
But Jaden Reed actually is going to be he's going to be out indefinitely from what I read today.
Yep.
He not opted to have surgery on his shoulder, but I think he said surgery on his foot today as well. So instead of just being on IR, he's on I think he's on I think he's going to be back until like December maybe, if that. Xavier Worthy, you can speak to this more so than me, but do you think he's going to play this week?
I mean, he was limited today, so
okay.
I think all signs are pointing to he's playing, but tomorrow be a bigger indicator in my opinion. But
right,
that's all reports have been week 3 was the target for him to come back.
Got it. Okay, good stuff. All right, Brian Thomas Jr. came up with a chest and a wrist injury. I think it was a little more of the internal issues for him, all those drops he had in a week 2 matchup. But he's on the list, playing against playing before the Jaguars. I don't know why you got the Saints here. It's weird. But yeah, that's crazy. You upload a report and it spits it out wrong. It's weird. But Malik Neighbors, growing strain, but he's expected to play.
Yeah.
Debo with a rib and oblique injury, but he's expected to play as well. But he'll be catching pass from Marcus Mariota most likely this week. So who's else is on this list that's not listed here that came up today?
Xavier Legette limited today. Okay. So there we could plug him in for the Panthers guy there.
I think that's probably what he meant.
With the hamstring though, so you want to definitely watch that. Josh Downs did not practice today,
right,
with the ankle injury. Christian Kirk was limited, but I think he's supposed to be back.
Yeah, he's trending towards playing. Yeah.
So we'll see that. Your boy Ladd McConkey did not practice today with biceps injury.
Bicep injury, yep.
And that's definitely one you want to watch. Wan'Dale Robinson, hot waiver wire pickup, was limited today with the foot injury.
Yep.
So definitely want to keep an eye on that. If you spent some fab or our top waiver order on that guy.
Right.
Jawan Jennings did not practice today with ankle and shoulder. Yeah, right. I mean, he's pretty much just not practicing ever. Chris Godwin was limited today.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Ibuka did not practice today with a hip and groin injury. So
wow,
we'll see if that was just giving him some rest or something to be a little more cautious about. Because he's been a shining star for me so far.
I know, and they lost their guard, Cody Mott, to a season injury too. So Baker's protection is going to take a hit.
Yep.
On top of that, so it's definitely some changes going on in Tampa for sure. For sure. Okay. All right. So that all for the wide receivers.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's still unfortunately a lot more than you'd hope.
I know for 2 weeks, right? For 2 weeks, games, all those injuries. Yeah. And top names. We're talking about Jaden Reed was a product top name. Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, Debo.
Yeah. I mean, there's some big names on there, man.
It definitely is. Ladd McConkey, to the point. I think he'll play, but the simple fact that he got an injury is something to monitor for sure.
Yeah, and they just haven't been using him that much.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. He's not getting 15 targets a game anymore.
Well, that little bit to Keenan and Quentin.
I know.
Yeah. Keenan and Quentin take up a little bit of that target share. So yeah, I think that's the reason why. But which is actually good for him because although I love Ladd, I'm always skittish about light wide receivers. Skinny, small, like twitchy wide receivers. They always seem to get hurt at some point because they just are. I won't call them frail, but they just a little light in the pounds department. Let's just put it that way.
One big hit and it could all go wrong.
It could all go wrong. So yeah, you see what's happening to Xavier Worthy. Mr. Speedster, he took one hit and dislocated his shoulder
from his own teammate.
Exactly, friendly fire. So yeah, so that's the only thing about it makes me skittish about smaller wide receivers, but definitely keep your eye on those guys for sure. All right, so let's talk about. I forgot Jamal Jr. Yeah, there he is.
We put him on there. Yeah,
Christian Watson is trending for week 4. That's another noteworthy name to talk about. And Malik Washington for the Dolphins is a game time decision coming up this week. He's their kick returner and their slot guy. So yeah, that's another name to watch as well.
Yeah, he got a tutty.
Yeah, he did.
Back to back special teams tutties. That was crazy.
It was crazy. All right, so the tight ends, Darren Waller out again this week. George Kittle still out on injured reserve. Isaiah likely out another week, and Dallas Goedert hadn't been reported to be practicing yet either, so he's likely maybe out for another week as well. So I would argue that Kittle and Goddard for sure, maybe likely in a certain space. Waller is probably a late round pick, but those other guys are high round picks for tight ends. So yeah, so you definitely got to look to replace those guys for sure. Because Isaiah likely, he's touchdown dependent, but he was definitely gold when he was on the field.
Yeah, last year for sure. He definitely emerged. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Made me sweat having Mark Andrews. I doubled down. Here I am.
There you go.
Just wait.
Hey, look what he's doing. He might have a confidence problem at this point. That's just my personal opinion.
I don't know. They're just not even throwing him his way. So
I know that's the thing. So we'll see. We will see. All right, so let's talk about potential replacements for these guys. So in regards to the quarterbacks, I think we got 3 apiece for each position. In regards to who we think there will be good money for you to replace these guys with, either temporary or long term. Aaron Rodgers for quarterbacks, Cam Ward for his dual threat ability, and I think they're trying to start to figure things out in Tennessee. So he should be a point grab for you in that regard. I think he'll at least give you 10 or more points if you got a super flex option to use him at. Sam Darnold looked pretty good in week 2, ironically coming back from the week 1 stinker. So he's available in most leagues, so he's a good pickup in that space. We talk about Bucky Irvin, who he's kind of been on the banged up list, so Rachaad White might get a little more target share. Now, did you see that Blake Corum got a lot of carries in the Rams game? Did you see that?
Yeah, he did quietly.
Right.
Quietly, man.
Yeah, so Blake Corum could be a sneaky, especially in deeper leagues, that you can pick up. That will be a trending topic for him if he's going to be more inserted into the offense with Sean McVay in that group. And Tyler Algier, he looked like he got a lot of carries in the Atlanta game. Bijan got the flashy carry, but he got the gritty ones, and you stole him in our league because I put a bid in on him, but I didn't get him. You got him in our league. Pickup. So yeah, got Tyler Algier.
I had to get him in one, dude.
Yes. So he's definitely picking up his team, and he's getting a lot more carries. So look for Tyler Algier to be a guy. So give me the lowdown on these wide receivers.
Yeah, and just before we do wide receivers, I would add if any of those trio of commander running backs are out there, I'd pick them up. One of them up.
Good point.
I know. I highlighted some in my video Tuesday. And McNichols and Rodriguez Jr. But I mean, Krosky Merritt has for all the preseason hype, he has not looked. He has not played the same part in the regular season. So I mean that. The carries and opportunities are up for grabs at this point. Yep. So, I mean, if any of them are out there and you got someone, just a throwaway player on your bench, I'd take a shot.
Okay.
But, so for wide receivers, we got Romeo Doubs, Green Bay. We had saw Jaden Reed's out.
Yep.
Christian Watson still expected to come back next week, so someone's got to throw the ball to someone.
Somebody.
Yeah. And then Troy Franklin continuing to emerge with his old college buddy Nix in Denver, though. But yeah, he is. I know I said this in our video. In week 2, he led them in snaps, routes, yards, targets. The works. Receiving. So yeah, he's quietly becoming the number 1 threat there, which sucks for me because I got Sutton in a few leagues, but I also picked up Franklin in quite a few. And then
I picked up Franklin. I drafted him in our dynasty, and I picked him up in my ESPN leagues.
Yeah, he's looking good right now. And then Ao Manor was another guy I noted. Tuesday as well. He's kind of in the, say like emerging as that solid number 2 threat in the Tennessee passing attack. He's getting a lot of looks, and he got a tutty in week 2. And
there you go.
Of course, I did note that he was limited today, but Wan'Dale Robinson as well. I doubt he's still available at this point, but he's definitely one. Like I mentioned, New York's going to be behind quite a bit, so they're going to be throwing the ball.
Right.
Yep. And then tight ends, we got Jatavion Sanders. He's definitely one I also noted. Big target share with the Panthers. I don't think Leggett is a quality NFL receiver at this point, and they're trying to figure. He is not putting anything together. They got a receiver in T-Mac, but the rest of those, the targets got to go somewhere, and Jatavion's quietly getting all of them. So had a pretty solid week 2. Chig Okonkwo, another solid option with Tennessee, and Pat Freiermuth kind of overshadowing Johnny Smith at this point.
Right, he's been Arians' best friend lately. So yeah, I definitely like that move as well. Yeah, the Jatavion Sanders one is an interesting one because, like you said, he's eating all the targets, and I think they're missing Jalen Coker in that offense, because I think that was the delineation between them being able to pass the ball, because having a weapon like Tet outside, Xavier should be eating. He's not. But Xavier is
going to Renfro.
At least in week 2. How about that?
I would temper, with Renfro, I think you can maybe pick him up and play him one more week, but once Coker comes back, he's done. He's done. Let's not forget this is the guy they cut and only had to bring back due to injuries. So
Coker got hurt, right? Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right. So moving on down the line here. Let's talk about our new segment called the Panic Button, or the Panic Rooms. Do you push the panic on these players? So there's a couple of players on my list, and I think AG got a few as well, in regards to who haven't been the most productive in 2 weeks so far. So we can discuss again, like we did about Ja'Marr Chase and others last week. We'll discuss again this week about how we feel about these guys and whether or not we should or should not push the panic button and at least bench them, maybe cut them or trade them at this point. To kind of be a little bit of a dual segment in it, sell low, buy low, sell high kind of thing. If you have that inclination. So tops on my list right now is Marion Hampton, and it's more having to do with the O-line for the Chargers. Most people think that, it's a lot of narratives out there. It's Roman and Harbaugh playing cat and mouse because everybody in the world thinks they're going to run the ball and run the ball a lot. So they kind of cat and mouse, and people, especially even the Chiefs game where everybody just knew they were going to run the ball, even with the Chiefs run defense being really stout. They came out and threw the ball a lot, kind of caught, even Spagnuolo even said himself that they caught him off guard with the idea that they were going to throw that much. So same thing with the Raiders. The Raiders typically, are known for, for us expecting us to run the ball. So, I'm thinking, is it a cat and mouse game or not? I'm just curious about the idea that with the reshuffling of it, the O-line, with losing Slater, having to move also right tackle, left tackle, moving Trey Pipkins to right tackle, things of that nature. It just might be, the combination just might not be as stout in run blocking, because the times they do run the ball, they're not getting a lot of push. Last year I could count on them being in third or fourth and short, and we getting it. And we had J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. So with backs like Marion Hampton and Najee Harris, you should know it's a guarantee. And it's not a guarantee right now. So I'm looking at the push from the O-line as a concern. So for me, I'm not going to push the panic button in regards to trading him or cutting him right now. But I think until they figure out how to move the ball with him, I think I would bench him. I know that's what I'm doing at this moment in time. If I have a better option, if you have a better option, your Nick Chubbs, your Travion Hendersons, who I have, and a few other guys. I even have Travis Etienne, who's getting more of a target share since they traded Tank Bigsby away. He's been the main guy in Jacksonville. So I'm going with Etienne and Henderson and Chubb, and I'm benching Omar Hampton until they figure it out. Because I would argue, although the Broncos gave up a lot of rushing yards last week, if you can't run the ball innately, that front is going to make it even more difficult for you to do so. So that's definitely in this matchup this week. I'm going to bench him until watch him have a big game this week. But that would be my advice based upon the trend and what I see from my team. So for me, I'm already Hampton. I'm going to at least not trade up or cut him, but I'm going to bench him for at least 1 week. You got a guy on your list that you want to talk about as far as panic or not panic?
I mean, yeah, the the big one I've already kind of been low key bitching about it all show, but it's Mark Andrews for
Yeah,
sure is one
yeah,
that I think you got to strongly consider just getting rid of it altogether. And I got to strongly consider that myself because he's my sole tight end in I think 2 leagues.
right,
But just all the facts are not good for anything to pick up steam at some point this season because it's not like the Ravens offense has not been damn near prolific the first 2 weeks. They've scored like what 80 81 points.
right.
In that in that offensive span, he's had 2 catches for 7 yards. And
I mean,
that's with Isaiah likely being out.
right,
So, it's
not
like I
good.
said, there's no good facts there to make me think that he's ever going to figure it out or they're ever going to start throwing significant targets his way. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna try to figure out how I'm moving off from him, whether I can sell him to someone else,
Right.
or just move on with someone in the waiver wire. But I'm full. I'm smashing the hell out of that button on Mark
Yeah,
Andrews.
right. Yeah, I got that. I got that for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. I can't argue that at all. I have no defense for Mark Andrews, and like I said, I think I said it a little bit earlier that it's a confidence problem for me. Ever since he had that pass drop in the playoffs that cost him the game practically, he hadn't been the
Literally,
same person. He hadn't been the same person. He
no.
really hasn't. So yeah, I would definitely lean towards your advice and say that yeah, I would definitely potentially at least fade him now or trade him, do whatever you can with him, get some type of value for him. It's kind of a sell low option, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's
Yeah, it's a
you
sell
either
low.
got to trade him to a Ravens fan or someone who thinks they're fleecing you because he's gonna figure it out. They
Right,
haven't been watching the show.
right. In the I guess you can say the trending up a moment for me, I would say that I'm gonna hold on Matthew Golden, because I've been singing his praises all preseason in
Yeah,
regards to being a guy. And like you said, Christian Watson hadn't come back yet, and we're looking at it from a perspective that, outside of Tucker Craft, we're looking for somebody to be that other guy on the outside to be a game breaker for them, a game breaker. So, I watched the game and he just missed. Golden. He was open
oh
twice.
yeah,
He was open for big plays, and I just think they got to get their time and the rhythm down. Once they do that, he's gonna shine. So I would hold my weight and go with Golden, pun intended. Um, yeah, and keep him. I would not trade or get rid of him because I think he's gonna pop here soon. I think he's gonna pop off, and I think he's gonna be good for you. So I would not move Matthew Golden at all. I think he's lying in the weeds. Toronto's off to a slow start, but they're gonna break out. They're gonna break out. It's gonna break out. It's gonna happen for you. Gonna happen for you. So yeah,
I
I will
agree.
hold on Matthew Golden for sure. I will hold on Matthew Golden.
Yeah, I got another one. I
Sure.
know we're both kind of invested in, so I'm curious what your thoughts are. But our man Travion in New England,
Yeah.
we starting
Yeah.
to panic, or or not? Because I mean, like I said, Ramondre had a solid game, even in the passing game in week
Yeah.
2, and he's now seeing some carries, at least last week, to Antonio Gibson. So it's like, is that a sign of what's ahead, or are they just kind of slow burning the rookie into the offense? I like
I
to
think
think it's the latter, but
yeah, I do too. I share that sentiment. I think it's a slow burn.
yeah,
I think he's just too talented. They drafted him for that reason. I would argue that Genty, Hampton, and Henderson, they're all just trying to figure it out and how to use them properly in their offense. They're
hmm
just trying to figure out the method by which I can get the most out of this kid, outside of special teams for Henderson in that perspective. But yeah, they just got to figure out a way to utilize them. Once they figure that way out, I think Ramondre Stevenson days of number in my personal opinion. So yeah, I'm holding on Travion Henderson as well for sure.
yeah,
For sure.
no, I feel the same sentiments with that one. And then my other kind of one I'm curious on your thoughts is Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, yeah, that's a high draft pick. Most people drafted him round 1,
Early,
2 early.
yeah, late
Yeah,
first, early second. That's
yeah. And I did read a report today that him and the coach had a long talk. So I think that hopefully that will invoke some confidence back into him and the idea that he's going to be good. I mean, let's be honest. Let's look at the season he had last year.
yeah,
Yes, there was a different coach and this, that, and the third, but I think that he is fantasy proof if he's getting the targets that he needs. It is a bad moment. I think he is having a bad moment right now. He actually did pretty good last week. This week we had 12 targets with 4 catches. I think that is, we just probably treat it as an anomaly. He's way too talented, way too of a good fantasy ad to give up on at this moment. So I'm holding on that perspective too. Now, if you got a plethora of receivers, you got these 8-man leagues, and you got a gold at every position, you might get bench him for a matchup or two, but there's no way in the world I would
trade him.
Yeah, you could try to trade him. You could try to trade him. And again, find somebody that's desperate at wide receiver that can give something in return from him. But that's the only thing I would do. I wouldn't cut him. I wouldn't, not profusely not play him. I would definitely say that we can definitely hold and be patient with the idea of keeping Brian Thomas for sure.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like you said, I mean, he's still first 2 games he's had 19 targets. So I mean, it's not like they're not giving him the
volume is definitely
opportunities.
there. Yeah, the volume.
And I mean, he's not competing with anyone else. Like the only other one's Travis Hunter, and he's not a full-fledged receiver per se, the way that Brian Thomas Jr. is. So yeah, I feel the same way. I think I'm kind of hoping in that the reports of the injury he was dealing with kind of explain the lack of efficiency, I'd say, with the targets. And it's just a matter of kind of getting healthier and just figuring out the new system. But yeah, I'm not fully panicking. I'm starting to mildly sweat about it, but we'll have some confidence rolling ahead.
Little perspiration, not full on sweating.
Getting the hand fan going, just a little.
Team, the Jordan Peele sweat team. Not there yet.
Not that bad.
Yeah, not that bad. Gotcha. Okay. Good stuff. Okay. Last one I have on my list is TJ Hockenson. TJ Hockenson concerns me again to the point where he cost me a game. He hadn't been really productive from that perspective. Now, how large you do to JJ McCarthy in that space in regards to him not getting those targets right. But I'm actually going to wait one more week, and I say that because Carson Wentz could be a whole different animal when it comes to throwing him the ball. I mean, he could be a tight end friendly quarterback for you, especially if Carson Wentz is going to play for the 2 to 4 more weeks. You could, be in heaven from a tight end perspective because Hawkinson's going to get all the love, right? So I would see for at least one game coming up this week, if Hockenson gets more targets from Wentz than he did JJ. And then if and when JJ comes back, maybe he'll be a more of a efficient distributor of the football, and we can keep the ship rolling. But I'm holding on TJ Hockenson as well. Yet again, and my advice, bar none, is that if the guy is talented, I would be patient because again, the talent is there. It's just a matter of targets, play calling, quarterback play, all those things factor into the idea of him getting the ball. I mean, quarterback's the only position that you don't have to depend on anybody else. They're not dependent on anybody else to produce, right? But kind of sort of, they depend on people to catch the ball and run the ball, right? But but they're the only person that is not relying on another person to give me my points, right? So I would say hold on TJ Hockenson as well. Again, talented guy, healthy for the first time in a good long time. So he just needs to get the ball. He's not getting targets. So if maybe Carson Wentz can change that for you. So
yeah,
all right.
I'd agree with that, and I'd say wait one more week and see how week 3 goes. Otherwise, I might put him in the same bucket as Mark Andrews, but
maybe.
But yeah, I mean, typically, the backup quarterback or the lower tier QB utilizes the tight end a lot more.
A lot more. I holistically agree. So, and I guess in the first world problems I have, one league I have Dalton Kincaid as my backup. So if he does suck, I can slide Dalton Kincaid in
heavily
there.
involved. So.
That's what I'm saying. So hopefully you had a good backup plan if he does suck. But I definitely believe that he should turn it around if he gets the targets. Okay. All right. So moving on down the line, let's talk strength schedule. Week 3 schedule. Let's talk about the best fantasy matchup for week 3. Here's the full slate of the games going through Thursday to Monday night. So what matchup do you have in your purview that you think there's going to be fantasy gold for people if they have players on these teams?
I think the big one I'm looking at is Bears Cowboys.
Might be a lot of points scored.
I mean, you're just looking at the game. What was it, 40 to 41-40 with the Giants? And in a divisional game that's usually a lot closer and lower scoring. So I think it's going to be. I mean, Bears defense is bad. Cowboys defense is not that
Sucks.
great. I think
Sucks.
Cowboys win, but they're gonna have to do kind of what they did against the Giants.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking at playing every Bills player I have against the Dolphins. I mean,
yeah,
seriously,
even in a Thursday night game, absolutely.
yeah, I'm playing
mean,
Josh Allen, I'm playing James Cook, I'm playing Dalton Kincaid, playing Keon Coleman. I'm playing them all. I mean, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of points scored by the Bills, and the Dolphins are not going to look that great. They don't look great traditionally against the Bills anyway, and they got to play in Buffalo. Yeah, even though it was warm, I'm still thinking the Dolphins are going to struggle on a Thursday night game against the Bills for sure. Even without Matt Milano, I think Joey Bosa and Matt Milano, or this could be Ed Oliver and Matt Milano not going to play. But yeah, I still think they roll them. So I'm looking at it. Any Bills you have, I think you have full confidence in starting those guys this week for sure.
yeah,
For sure. Yeah.
yeah.
What you got?
I mean, another one I kind of like I think the Steelers Patriots game is going to be pretty good in terms of offensive fantasy output and fantasy gold, in my opinion.
It's weird to say for the Steelers, but yeah, you might be right.
I mean, it's like the Patriots defense doesn't look all that great either, because even against Miami, I mean, it was a little closer than you would hope with how they looked in week 1. And, I think DK is going to have a big game because you got Christian Gonzalez is out, and it's been they've been a little suspect in their secondary with that. So yeah, I that's one I'm kind of circling for some fantasy gold too.
Right. And this is low hanging fruit, but I'm starting Seahawks this week too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm starting Seahawks this week too against the Saints.
Yeah.
And I think you said preface this in this top of the show when we talked about week 1 that anybody playing the Saints, we're starting players against them because it's just bad over there. It's bad. It's just bad altogether for sure. What do you think about the Colts Titans game? Like, I mean, it's so weird because we see the Titans play really good run defense week 1. They play bad run defense in week 2, and the Colts just running over everybody with Daniel Jones right now. What do you think about that game?
Yeah, I don't know, because you got the division rival component to it, and it's like Colts are already kind of up here, and I feel like the Titans are going that way, and it's
right.
I don't know, man. I think we probably see the Colts continue to do what they've been doing, and Daniel Jones looks good for one more week, but
yeah,
we'll see what Cam Ward has to respond.
That's true. That is true. Okay, last one I'm looking at. I'm probably starting most Packers this week too against the Browns.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs plays, starting him. Jordan Love starting him. Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs, definitely Tucker Kraft for sure. Yeah, so I'm starting big time Packers this week if you got them on your lineup for sure. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. So let's get into, since we talk about best matchups, let's talk about our perfect lineups. We do a segment each and every week called the perfect lineup. We give you our best ball component segment in regards to who we think is going to be absolute gold for you, position by position, quarterbacks all the way down to defense and kickers. So we'll give you our perfect lineup for week 3 and who is going to be fantasy gold for you. So if these guys are on your team for fantasy or your best ball lineup or your survivor league for that matter, they can definitely get you some cheddar cheese this week, as the AG likes to say. So starting off with mine, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes against the Giants. I think he has a resurgence. I think he's going to I'm hoping Xavier Worthy does play because I do have Patrick Mahomes in 2 leagues, ironically. So I'm looking for Patrick Mahomes to have a good showing against the Giants. James Cook against the Dolphins. We talk about Bills running all over them. I think he's going to have a good showing. I think Breece Hall, especially with Kalijah Kancey being hurt now, I think Breece Hall bounced back and have a good game against Tampa. I think Rome Odunze continues his tear against the Cowboys in that secondary. I'm liking Nico Collins going against the Jaguar secondary because they can't seem to cover anybody. Although I think the Seahawks are going to roll, Juwan Jennings seems to get big-time targets with Taysom Hill being hurt. He seems to be fantasy gold right now, so I'm taking him. Zay Flowers against the Lions. I like that matchup in that particular battle. Taking Brandon Aubrey against the Bears. I think there's going to be a lot of kicking in that game for them, so he's going to have a lot of opportunities. And I'm taking the Vikings against the Bengals because Jake Browning is an interception machine. So, so
Brian Flores is definitely going to mess with them. So.
Oh yes, absolutely. He's going to come after him big time, hot and heavy. So yes, I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings defense against the Bengals. So those are my perfect lines for week 3. Real AG, what you got on your side?
Oh yeah, so I guess to kind of preface what you said with our fantasy gold, my QB is Josh Allen Thursday night against the Dolphins. broken nose or not, he's going to ball.
Of course.
I got Bijan Robinson against the Panthers.
Great pick.
I mean, he's been starting hot. And then, I do have Josh Jacobs against the Browns, but I did note he was limited today, so got to watch that. But if he's going, like you said, we're playing all Packers against the Browns.
Right.
I did see that we both had Nico, but kind of like Puka last week, which we both were right about.
Yep.
I feel pretty strongly about Nico in the Jags, and then like I said with that Steelers Patriots game, I got DK as my wide receiver too. I got Tyler Warren against the Titans. I think he finally gets his first touchdown.
I like that.
I mean, he's getting the targets and he's producing. So just a matter of getting that touchdown. My flex play for this week is Jordan Mason.
That's a great one. That's a great one.
I feel great about that one. They traded for him. This is the moment. This is the reason they got him.
Yeah.
They're going to feed him the rock, and I think he's going to produce. I also like the Packers defense against the Browns. I mean, I think Mike is just going to terrorize Flacco, and they've looked pretty good. And then Dicker, the kicker, baby, as Cameron Dicker, my perfect kicker against the Broncos.
I like it. I like it. Never gonna argue that. Never gonna argue that at all. For sure. Can't do it. All right. So those are our perfect lineups for the week. So yeah, man. So hopefully that will shed some light on who you should play. If you got any angst or any decisions to make, any stinker tinker moments, you sitting on the can trying to figure out who to play week 3. Here's your guys. So definitely play them guys and sleep well at night because they should get you a dub. For sure. All right, moving on down the line. So we are wrapped up for the show for our content, but we like to leave a few minutes for people in the chat watching here on Twitter or YouTube. Please, if you're on Twitter, please float over to YouTube if you can to drop your comments. We are here to answer your questions live and direct as we're on the air. If you don't catch us online and you're watching this on replay, we have a hotline number now, so you can call us and leave us a message. The number is 240-249-2220. You can call us, leave us a voicemail, give us your question, let us know whether or not you wanted us to play it on air or not, and we'll get you that answer in short order. You can also DM us on IG or Facebook or Twitter as well. We'll give you those socials in a minute, but it's Lightning Fast FF across all platforms. So there's that. I'll pop that up on the screen as well. So those are our social media accounts, Lightning Fast FF on all platforms. So if you need to reach us on any social media platform that you have, you want to send us a DM for a question, we'll take that as well. We'll get that answer in a short order for you. But like to call us in offline, or you can DM us as well to get your questions answered if you're watching this on replay. But if you have your questions want to answer live here in direct right now, we are here to answer for you. If you're not, like I said, we'll talk to you offline and we'll get those questions answered for you before Sunday gets here and all the matchups start to kick off really in large fashion, I should say, for sure. All right, so we'll hold for a couple of minutes to see if anybody wants to answer any questions answered. But overall, like I said, this is our hotline. This is our graphic hotline. Like I said, the number is 240-249-2220. You can call us and leave us a voicemail, and we'll get to that answer to you in short order. If you want to call back, we have to leave the number, obviously. But most people have messaging or voicemail etiquette, so we'll have to tell you that part. But yeah. But yes, leave us a message, or we'll play your answer question on air, and we'll get that answer in short order. Hell, we might even drop a short on social media if you want to answer it in that directly. We could do that for you as well. But yeah. So if anybody has any questions, please drop them in the chat. If not, we'll let you reclaim your lives for the rest of the night, and hope everybody has a good fantasy week. If you're looking for the Lightning Fast Fantasy Football Podcast, we're on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Lightning Fast FF on all platforms, and we have a Gmail address. If you need to get any questions answered through email, lightningfastff@gmail.com. That's all available to you. Drop us a line, drop us a comment, subscribe to the channel, most importantly, for YouTube, to let the YouTube algorithm know we're doing big things out here. We're trying to grow this channel to high heights, try to get to that scaling monetization level. So please drop a subscription. It is free. We appreciate all the support that's been had so far, and we're going to keep doing this thing big. We drop shorts all week, Monday through Friday, outside of Wednesday when we go live. So check those videos out. We give you those gems that you need. We have our Monday morning hangover for Monday. We have our Tuesday sleepers, live show on Wednesday. We have rolling segments on Thursday and Friday, Alex. We have your 60 seconds with Alex. We have your best lineups for Thursday. We have stock up, stock down. We have start 'em, sit 'em. We have a myriad of things going on Thursday.
Grab bag, baby. Wrap out the week.
There it is.
Pause
so
if needed.
Yeah, pause if needed for sure. For sure. So we have rolling segments on Thursday and Friday, but it's definitely going to be fantasy gold for you. So if you need advice, anything that you need to grab on that, please check those out on YouTube as well. And we'll be here for you, like I said, each and every week, Wednesday night at 9 p.m. to do live shows to give you our deep synopsis, our deep dive bag on what we do week to week for fantasy, man. But if there's no questions in the chat, man, we're gonna get out of here. But that is our show for the week. We like to keep it about an hour and 5 minutes, to keep everything rolling smooth. But yeah, man. So hopefully everybody has a good week 3 in their fantasy football matchups, so we can keep things moving in a positive direction and help everybody stays healthy. That's a big thing.
Yeah,
a lot of injuries to deal with. A lot of energy to deal with. But any party worries, Real AG, before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Like I said, just hope you have a healthy week 3, and everyone out there has a good week 3. Unless I'm playing you.
That's a good one. Well, we don't play this week, so we're good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
We got that out the way. Indeed. Okay. All right. So that'll do it for us this week. Like I said, if you need to catch us on replay or miss any segment, please go back to YouTube and watch the replay, and it'll be there available for you right after the show ends. And hit us up if you need any questions answered, the voicemail or Instagram or social media in general. Hit us up, and we'll be right there to answer your questions. But in the meantime, in between time, that is the Real AG, Alex Givens. I'm your man, Coach Divas. Until next week, we'll see you when we see you. Step up and lock it down.